The 3.0 special live stream has finished, and I waited a good 24 hours to let my thoughts stew with 3.0 and everything, and I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to talk about what's coming in version 3.0 of Honkai Star Rail, the good things, the bad things, so on and so forth. Now, before I preface this, and I want this to be 100% clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with having constructive criticism. I don't think there's anything wrong with not liking something. I want it to be abundantly clear that if I don't like something, I'm going to tell you guys straight up. I think that that's the fair way to give justified criticism. Even though I am a Hoyo creator, I'm not going to shy away from giving my opinions on any of the product. I think that's the way to better the product in general. And I think a lot of creators would agree with that. Granted, I could just go for the bag. I'm not going to go for the bag. I'm going for how I feel about these things, right? Granted, I can't even get a bag because I'm small in the Hoyo creators verse, but I am going to at least give my take on the 3.0. Now, before we get into that, like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff, make sure to check out Gamer Subs. Use code Tystra for 10% off. We do have a drop coming by tomorrow, and I'm just saying, y'all, it's going to be a pretty big drop to start off 2025. So help me get my cup of destiny by buying some Gamer Subs using my code Tystra for 10% off. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive in here. We're going to scroll down all the way to the beginning. We got some preview images of Amphorius, which Amphorius looks really, really good. I like the starting area that we first saw, which was like this apocalyptic area that looked like destroyed in general. And the reason why I liked it, it reminded me of like OG God of War, right? And I know that there were some people that didn't like it, but for me, making that connection and understanding that it's destroyed, there's some stuff going on, man. It kind of gave me that whole aspect of like, oh, this is gonna get deep. Now, during the live stream too, and during when they were talking about the background images, they even stated that this is not gonna be like Penacony, where it's a happy-go-lucky, hee hee ha ha story. This is gonna be more of a serious arc, and I'm all for it, especially since they're going to be doing that collab with Fate Stay Night. It makes the most sense to have something like this, right? Now, let's go ahead and dive into the characters here. We do have Herda, which is going to be an Erudition Ice character, and of course, Aglia, who is going to be a Remembrance Lightning character. If I mispronounce these characters, I don't care. Like, I don't care. We're getting like 8 banners in total when it comes to characters, right? That's not including the light cone or light cones as well. Now, for phase one, we are getting Jade, Fei Zhao, and Lingsha as the, rerun banners, which is it's an insane combination. Jade is kind of whatever, I feel like, especially if you pulled for Rappa, Jade's gonna be kind of meh, but Jade still is really, really good, like considered top tier. Fei Zhao and Lingsha are also top tier units, and yeah, it's pretty insane that all 3 of them are running at the same time. Phase 2 with so phase 1 was going to be Herda, phase 2 is going to be Aglia, and the reruns are going to be Silverwolf, Robin, Boot Hill, which, out of all 3 of those, I think that Robin is going to be your best bet. Robin is still considered one of the best Harmony units. Boot Hill is really, really good as a single target DPS, and then Silverwolf been kind of getting a resurgent as of late, but I feel as though like she's still not up there anymore, you know what I mean? That's just personally for me. I've never liked using Silverwolf, but maybe I'm the crazy one. I don't know. But yeah, the fact that there's 8 banners, and this is my take on it, I love the variety, but I feel like people are going to lose their minds because that's good. Like, if you don't have any of these characters, right? Like, for me, I'm going for Herda and Aglia. If you don't have Silverwolf, Robin, Boot Hill, Jade, Fei Zhao, and Lingsha, and you're just like, I'm going to go for all of them, you're about to go broke, and you're probably going to be homeless. It's pretty insane, especially with the light codes, too. But I am glad that they are separating the new characters, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Looking at you, Genshin Impact. And the reason why I'm saying Genshin Impact instead of ZZZ, because Genshin is doing the Phase 1 as the 2 new characters, and you only get them in Phase 1, and then Phase 2, they're giving 20 free pulls, which is freaking bonkers to me, okay? So, anyways, enough of that. We're getting Remembrance Trailblazer, which we already kind of knew of when they did the drip marketing. We got a sneak peek at what the Trailblazer is going to be able to do. Now, Remembrance is going to be basically they summon a spirit-like figure alongside them, kind of like how Topaz has Numby, but you have a certain amount of time to have them on the field, and then they'll do extra damage and be considered as the 5th member of your team. Now, I think that's pretty cool. I want to get more hands-on with it, so that way I can fully understand it. Because for me, I can watch a live stream and kind of understand it, but until I actually get my hands on it, it makes no sense to me, right? So there's that. We got the list of Amphorius characters for 3.0, which we kind of already saw before. We already know that mydei and tribbie are going to be the next two. We also got confirmation that the Honkai Star, like basically 3.0, the whole arc of it is going to be 3.0 to 3.7, which means that I'm pretty sure from now on it's going to be the 0.0s to the 0.7s now. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. My apologies, though. Give me 1 sec. All right. Whew. Now, let's talk about light cones. We are getting some new 4-star light cones as well, alongside the 2 new 5-star light cones, which is just in general. The 2 new 4-star light cones that I'm really excited for is the Genius's Greetings, which has Herda, like basically like wall pressing Ron May, which is and then of course Sweat Now Cry Less, which is going to be Fei Zhao working out, which is I dig it. And then we're also getting 2 new 3-star ones as well, from what it looks like, and I didn't remember seeing those, but that's pretty cool. We just went over the banner, so we already kind of talked about that with the light cones. New Remembrance Path, we already kind of talked about. The new mission is going to be based around us arriving in Amphorius, which we're going to be like working alongside Dong Hung during the story, so it's pretty cool. We got the Flower of Alaya Trace Material, which is going to be for the Remembrance Path. Pretty dope, right? I don't know if that means we're getting brand new ones for the other traces as well, but we'll see as time goes on. Relic subset customization and reroll function is coming. You could choose basically 2 of the ones that you want. So if you're doing a main stat of, basically, let's say attack percentage on this little rope right here, you could basically, I think it's up to 2, isn't it? You can get up to 2. Allows a trailer. I think it's dependent on, I guess, how many of those you have. Maybe I'm just confused. I thought it was 2, but from this diagram, it's 1, which is kind of crazy to me. I would figure 2, but I do dig this. I do dig being able to choose your substats. Hopefully, this is much easier to get than Genshin Impacts, but we'll see. And then, of course, you have the variable dice, which if you re-roll, or if you use that, you could re-roll 2 or all the upgrades of what you get for your leveling up of the relic, right? So as you could see before, they had 1 in crit rate, 1 in crit damage, and 2 in defense. When they did the reroll, it went 1 crit rate, 2 crit damage, and 1 attack percentage, which obviously means a lot better. So I can't wait to use that, so long as variable dice is, I wouldn't say easy to get, but not as hard. I want it to be clear, like, I totally get where they want you to spend your time to go for these relics and all that stuff, but we need to make sure that we're not making these like so impossible to get at all times. The self-modeling resin is already like at a good state where getting enough of it is like, okay, if I want to go for a certain character, I can do this. I think it's at the right percentage. Maybe it could be a little bit easier to get, but make it as part of the events and stuff like that. I don't know. It's one of those things where if you do too much, it makes the game kind of meh. But if you do it too less, it makes the game meh. You know what I mean? I think they're at a perfect, or just about perfect balance with the self-modeling resin. We got new enemies. Of course, the new Strife Titan Kin's enemies. These guys look absolutely sick. And we got like the look at some bosses too, which was pretty dope. And then of course we got the events that are coming. The events actually like kind of confused me. So let's go over the ones that are easy to understand. We got Mem's Gift, which is going to give us 10 polls, which is really cool, and a variable dice already. Boom. So we already got a reroller right there. We're getting Gifts of Odyssey, which is pretty standard for every single, patch at this point. The big thing that I think is coming from this, and I've already seen a lot of people complaining about this, and I don't get why. I think it's stupid that they're complaining about something for free. We're getting March 7th. A brand new costume, or the first costume coming to Honkai Star Rail in version 3.0 for free. And people are like, oh, it ruins the original design. I've had somebody who says it's ruining the original design, and I'm like, how? You don't have to use it. Like, it's just there. It's free. And then people are like, oh, but it's on the preservation March 7th. Nobody uses that anymore. Again, I'm just kind of whatever about it. Like, I think that this is a good start, especially since it's free in case you do use March 7th in preservation. So, I don't know. I could kind of get it in the sense of people not using March 7th in the preservation form. They use, obviously, the hunt form more often. But at the same time, like, it's still a good costume. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just the crazy one. I don't know. I just think that people complaining about getting something for free is insane. Um, but yeah, and then we also got this Cosmic Lucky Prize where you could basically draw like for 7 days, and you could either you could get 100 Primo Gems each day, which turns out to be 700 not Primo Gems, but Stellar Gems in the week, or you could gamble and you have a 10% chance of going to 600 for the day, or you could be one of 20 wins, getting 500,000 Stellar Jade, which obviously, gamblers get the gambler in me is going to be like, yes, I'm going to be doing it every single time. But I know for a fact I'm not going to be getting the 500,000 Stellar Jades. I would be happy with just getting the 600 at least once. That means I would get more Stellar Jades in the week than just, the 700. So I say gamble every time. That's just me. Now, of course, we're getting the exploration event called Ilya Travel Log, which I didn't really like fully get what's going on with that one. We're getting the Hypogeum Enigma, Enscrolled Crepusculum. Very weird names. But these are the main events that are happening for 3.0, which is cool. We got Planner Fissure and Realm of the Strange, the double drop events happening as well. So kudos. This was around the time when the live stream started to kind of die off a little bit for me because the events, from what I was seeing, didn't have a lot of really good rewards in it. And that's why I was confused. Like, I felt as though even with the 2.6 live stream, the event rewards seemed really, really good. Now, of course, that could change. Maybe I go into this and I'm like, oh, wow, they actually have a lot of rewards. But from the previews of these, there wasn't any, like, crazy rewards outside of Stellar Jade. And, yeah, that made me very sad. So, I don't know. Maybe I missed something. So let me know in the comments down below if you found something in those events that actually was worth the time and effort outside of Stellar Jades, right? And then, of course, the last little thing is we'll talk about optimizations, which I think HSR excels at their optimizations. Trailblaze power will be increased to 300, and the Immersifier storage will be increased to 12 in version 3.0. So let's talk about Trailblaze power first. Having it go up to 300 is good. And the reason why I'm saying that is, yes, maybe the timer is not changing to where, hey, we're not going to be like getting more Trailblaze power over time. But if you think about it, when you have your 240, it's tough because once you have your 240, it goes into your backup reserves, right? And you get one per like double time. So like instead of 5 minutes, you get one Trailblaze power. It takes 10 minutes to get one in the reserves, which is, you know, good. It's a good thing. However, this makes it so you have less going into those reserves because of the fact that you've upgraded it. You now get more of your Trailblaze power over time. So I think that's a good thing right there. The Immersifier storage as well, I think is really good because every week you get 4 of the Herticoins or the Immersifier storage, right? And that's used for your simulated universe runs, right? Getting 12 means you could have 3 weeks of those and just boom, 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 put them all in, make it a day, right? So I think that's good because it's, again, another thing of respecting time and energy. So I think it's good. I think it's really good. I haven't heard any arguments from people before. Funny enough, that short that I did for the Trailblaze Power got one person who doesn't even play Honkai Star Rail, and they were like, yeah, that's the beauty of shorts. I got to watch this. So if you're watching this somehow, some way from the short stuff, hey, buddy, appreciate you. Now, an update to the Finality Vision will allow Trailblazers to unlock certain content after finishing Gerudo 6, Silent Galaxy. So basically, you're not going to be held back. You'll be able to actually like catch up rather quickly to be able to, do your things, right? daily missions will be removed in version 3.0. And I did not see this, actually. I did not see that whatsoever. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, it's cool, but it doesn't really affect anything too much. I was kind of surprised at that. Treasure gadget feature will be added in 3.0 to help trailblazers find the nearest treasures. So for people, this is huge. And the reason why I say that, because of the fact that, you know, Herda, who is a 3.0 character, or the Herda, is coming out, and one of the special abilities that she has is being able to actually find all the treasure on the map, right? And then you could just use the map and find it. This makes it so you don't have to summon for the Herda. Like, if you were on the fence of summoning for the Herda, then you don't really have to do that. By the way, my roommate's saying hi. Hi, roommate. You're in the video now. I got him into Honkai Star Rail, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah. So yeah, with the treasure gadget feature, what ends up happening now is that you don't have to make the excuse of pulling the Herda, which means that you could save your money or save your Stellar Jade, because if that was the reason you wanted to pull Herda, you don't have to now. Fantastic, right? Not only that, but it gives you more chances to get Stellar Jade, and this is why I love the HSR development team, because they're actually thinking about the players and being like, hey, we want to get you to 100% our game with the least amount of time spent on it, right? Granted, for me, it's only going to work in the newer areas. So that's just how it is. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mauled or madding or anything like that. You know, it's whatever. In version 3.0, Trailblazers will not need to unlock maps to farm the Calyxes, Stagnant Shadows, Caverns of Corrosion, or Echoes of War. Now, again, this is huge, because if you're summoning for the Herda or Aglia in 3.0, you don't have to play the story and unlock the areas to be able to do their material hunts, right? You could go and get your Calyxes done. You could go and get the materials to upgrade them and level them up. You don't have to wait to get their specific relics. And again, this is HSR respecting the time of their players, right? Now, outside of the optimizations being really, really good and the characters being really good, here's my take of how the 3.0 live stream was. The live stream was about an hour, which is a little bit above normal. And the reason why I say that is because most of the live streams that Gacha Games do are around 45 minutes. So we had an extra 15 minutes. Granted, I would say about half of that was lore dropping what Amphoris was going to be. And I'm all for lore. I do love lore. But I felt like it dragged way too much, especially with the development team. And it's nothing against them. They are developers. They're not public speakers. And a great example of this was the lead for Hello Games that was doing the press for, let's say, what was it? Freaking, it was a big game for the longest time, and it flopped and then got big again. I can't remember it off the top of my head. No Man's Sky. That's what it was. When No Man's Sky came out, it turned out to be a flop. I'm not saying that 3.0 is going to be a flop, but I'm just saying a lot of the things that made it as like super hype was that there was somebody out there who was public speaking that wasn't good at public speaking. I'm not saying that the HSR team is like that, but it's kind of an example of a development team that's not meant to do public speaking. They do it and it just kind of drags and it's weird, right? So I don't know. I don't know if my thoughts are coming through. It's not to say that I don't like them coming out and speaking and saying praises. Like, I love when the development team is able to come out and, you know, talk about the projects that they're passionate about. However, there was a little bit of times where it dragged a little too much, especially in that first 20 minutes of the live stream, right? So, hi JC. Hi, JC came over here. But outside of that, the live stream was okay. I would say that it was about a 5 or a 6 overall. But that's just me. But I would love to know, what was your favorite part of the live stream, and did you think that it dragged a little bit? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out GamerSubs. Use code Tyson for 10% off. Like, comment, subscribe, and of course, as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.